Director of its Maryland office did not hold back from expressing her thoughts on the president's comments on Gaza and the effects that it could have.
And that would be a big sense.
Zainab Chaudhry is the director of the Maryland office of the Council on American-Islamic Relations, or CAIR. Chaudhry says that she was surprised to hear President Trump's comments about Gaza on Tuesday.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development. I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East.
The idea of any government going into Gaza and taking over, ethnically cleansing the land and then taking it over to build what Donald Trump referred to as a Riviera is absolutely absurd.
She told us those comments also raises concerns about how this could affect the situation there.
It also risks destabilizing the region even further, especially considering that there is a temporary fragile ceasefire on hold. And the implications of this kind of rhetoric are very dangerous and it's deeply troubling. It's very unsettling to understand exactly what he is trying to refer to when he says that he expects to take over Gaza.
Chaudhry says they're now asking others to take action and contact their lawmakers.
We are urging people to call members of Congress to also make sure that they understand that we as constituents do not believe that there should ever be any indication that the United States would ever go into Gaza and take control of that territory.
For now, as the ceasefire continues, she and others are watching to see what happens next.
I think it's just really important to emphasize that this is not a land without a people for a people without a land. This is a land that very much has a people that belong to it. And that bond between those people, Palestinians.
And Senator Chris Van Hollen said on X that the president's proposal to push 2 million Palestinians out of Gaza and take ownership by force if necessary is, quote, ethnic cleansing by another name.